You're watching and listening to, if you've downloaded the podcast on iTunes, rawmikeRichards.com. Cal Post is going to join us in just moments here, his tour and his brand new album. And he's got so much stuff that he's going to talk about here next. We're always thrilled to have our guys on. And when we come back after the work of Cal Post, we will talk to him here on rawmikeRichards.com.
Hi. Let's get right into it, shall we? Big news, big Canadian news. You might have missed it because of the election, Jays fan, whatever. But this was massive. Huge news. Penis size average in Canada has been lowered. I'm so happy about this. You have no idea how happy I am. Thrilled. It was 5.5. Now it's an even 5. I've never been average at anything in my life. Finally, I did it. Thank you, Chinese immigration. Yeah, baby. Yeah, the consulate wasn't too happy either when I went to thank them in person, but I'm actually very thrilled. Hi, I'm Cal. I don't get along with a lot of people. I don't. It's just the kind of person I am. I don't. Cops especially. I don't get along with cops. I don't like how they talk to me. I really don't like it. I had a cop pull me over, right?
Double ride.
He wants a double ride. Drive home later. Please drive home later. I got pulled over by a cop, right? He leans into my window and he goes, do you know how fast you were going, son? He calls me son right away. I hate you. I hate him so much. That's such a condescending way to talk to somebody. I'm a 32-year-old man. I'm an adult. For one thing, I don't even respect my father, so I don't know why he thinks this is going to help.
That, of course, is Cal Post as being described, and I'm just seeing this, Cal, for the first time. Short and cute, yet biting and sharp, Cal's comedy is like a razor blade in a candied apple.
Yeah, not bad, eh?
That's Cal Post in studio here with us on rawmikeRichards.com. Thrilled to have it because you are busy. Some people don't like to be busy. That's not you. You do a lot of shit.
It took me about 10 years to figure out how to be busy and then still fit booze and weed and everything into my schedule. But yeah.
See, the second show in the row where weed is helpful.
I love it. Although I don't subscribe to this marijuana fixes everything.
No.
I just smoke it because it's fucking fun.
Yeah, so
we don't need more than that.
It's a double Ryan ginger for you.
Yeah.
But are you a drinker too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have to be. You're a comic. You have to.
Drinker, smoker.
Yeah.
I'm trying to quit cigarettes, so.
Yeah, that's the bad one.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird? But people are like, well, I don't smoke, but.
Which, I mean, in this playoff run is fucking so hard.
Well, as you can see, if you're watching.
We're in that ad, exactly.
I know, right?
He's got
How is this a Game 7 tonight?
Yes. Yeah, what happened there?
I don't know. These guys just like pushing my buttons. It feels like, specifically, it feels like they're attacking me.
Yeah, personally.
Like, we're going to. But, I mean, you know what bothered me, actually, while we're on the topic?
Yes.
I kind of wish Fleury was still in that.
Really?
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, they never would have got through Washington.
No, that's true. That's true. But
And that was his crease, and he had one bad game, which I don't even think was all him. There were a lot of bad bounces in that game.
well, let me ask you this: Are you a Penguins fan through and through? Like you can date back with them for a while and so forth. And
I'm a nerd, so I actually had a video game when I was a little kid called Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Came out like '93, I think. And the best team in that video game was Pittsburgh, so that's when that happened.
Right.
Okay.
Weird, right? To go around that way.
Okay, now the reason I ask is next year when you're cheering for this team, Marc-Andre Fleury isn't part of the future plans, and the guy that's in net right now is kind of the future, and maybe that's why they were kind of, don't piss off the guy that's going to be here with you tomorrow. Piss off the other guy, right?
Yeah, they should hang on to Murray. Of course they should. I just, Fleury works so hard.
Yeah.
And it was great to see him stand up the way he did.
So you're a fair man. So maybe the blade not as sharp inside the candied apple. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I just, the guy deserves to keep going. You just let him go. But Murray came in and played amazing.
Yeah.
So you can't deny that they made the right choice.
Bingo.
Obviously.
I
love Mike Sullivan.
Yeah. I mean, look, and he took a team that, and you probably lived it being a Penguins fan, but every time I got to the playoffs, I'm like, well, fuck, just push them around. Push Pittsburgh around, and something's going to happen because some of these guys are just going to roll over.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't a track meet game, these guys were going to be in trouble. Then, at the time, people looking at Marc-Andre Fleury like he wasn't going to be a playoff goaltender, and they would evaporate. Sully goes in there, and all of a sudden this defensive accountability stuff starts showing up. And I think they played with a different kind of pushback, which is hard to do when you have a personality of a team, a trait for a team, and they kind of changed a little bit. I think all the credit goes to him.
Absolutely. I think Sullivan, especially when he came in, one of the first things it seemed like he did was get Crosby to start playing a little more defensively instead of constantly rushing the net, So you saw him playing back a lot more, playing more in the middle ice, which improved his game incredibly as well. You're seeing things out of him. I mean, people thought he was kind of over the hill a little bit.
No, he's revitalized himself, and he's almost turned himself into the complete player. A lot of people sit there and go, Jonathan Toews plays both sides. Well, Sidney Crosby does the same thing, but is a lot more offensive and just as defensive. I mean, there may not be. I mean, there's a Connor McDavid argument to be made that he's the best offensive player. There's another argument to be made that Sidney Crosby is the best player on planet Earth right now.
I would go with that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he plays every aspect of the game really well. Connor's fast.
Yeah.
Well,
isn't he?
and again,
So fast.
when you're making these comparisons, one guy who's on the other side of what is a legendary Hall of Fame career, and the other guy who's just starting one. So you know, when people say that, it's like, well, yeah, it's like, well, if you could start a team tomorrow, what, at the same age? Are we playing like hot tub time machine, where you get the, because that kind of stuff drives me nuts, trying to these kinds of comparisons, because they are at some point different players because of where they are in the progression,
right?
As a human,
but drunk assholes like me need something to talk about.
Drunk
We got to
assholes.
compare. We got to compare.
That's nice.
Gretzky, Crosby, Connor. Who's the best?
So you can be hammered tonight watching this game, just absolutely loaded.
Actually, my routine these days have been just to smoke a big joint.
All right, so
Okay,
a big fatty, and then you just sit there and you're thinking that tonight's going to be a Pittsburgh night.
Well, I was reading the percentages. They're looking at roughly 58% chance of winning.
I would have thought more than that.
I'd bump that up.
I'm saying more than that.
I'm just going off my NHL app. It's
I'd hit 70.
I would say it's at least, but hey, the odds makers are saying at least 70%.
Yeah. Like as far
You
as
don't
the
win a ton of money
is
on-
concerned and
yeah,
where the
Ottawa-
money is flowing and so forth.
Ottawa's so opportunistic, though.
Yeah,
They're
They
annoying.
get that little chance with the puck. And
They're annoying. There's everything but Ottawa. I don't know what you like about, maybe the actual Rough Riders, the Red Blacks, that crowd. I don't mind that. They actually seem like they have fun in a city that, as they say,
Bernie was great. Ottawa sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks. Shitty city.
But you got to play there sometimes. You tour.
Yeah, great comedy city.
Are they? Yeah.
Probably because nothing's going on.
Yeah,
They need something to do. Said Ottawa's the only place you can do a line of coke and then yawn. Like, oh, I'm bored.
Now you are because you tour. I mean, you're playing all the time. You just did a West Coast, did you not? What did you do?
I'm going out west.
Oh, you're just going out
Yeah,
west.
leave in a couple of weeks. Can't wait.
And so, what are the cities we're talking about here?
Victoria, right off the top. Hecklers, great club, super fun. Followed by Vancouver, Calgary.
Speaking of
Edmonton.
weed.
Yeah. I got all my cards. I collect them on the road.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm headlining across the whole tour.
Now, is this
Pushing the album?
Is this? Yeah. So the album is it Callous?
Callous.
Callous.
Yeah, I punned it up. Fuck.
So, well, I'm thinking that. So if people are not familiar with your comedy, you're bitter. You're a bitter man.
I'd like to see it more as reasonable. A lot of people get offended and upset about things that I don't understand why. If you can logically break down something, go, it's like this. People still get offended. Like, you got to gear yourself towards the emotional range first. Like, nah, logic to me is the funniest thing in the world.
Like, what do you not get about people? Like, what do you look at in your lifetime and go, I don't understand?
Oh, well, Trump.
Okay, all right, yeah.
I mean, that's the craziest question mark in the world right now, is how this man has attained this kind of power. Them electing Trump is like if Canada elected Don Cherry. Like, it's completely insane.
I think it'd be safer with Cherry though.
We would be, but they're both loudmouths. They're both kind of racists. But yeah, they make Trump the president. We put Don on a 7-second delay. Like, that's what we do. So that's the difference. So to see Trump doing what he's doing, it's out of this world.
I always think it's surreal when I see some of these big world leaders. You see the Pope, and then him. He would fire Gene Simmons on his show because Gene didn't do the Kodak thing right, or one of the Kardashians is on there and they got too fat, so he's got to fire her. And now he's making world policy and he's standing beside like the Pope. It doesn't look real to me.
It's unbelievable. He went to Saudi Arabia, right? And then after that, he jumped over to Israel. And when he got to Israel, he goes, yeah, we were just in the Middle East. It's like, what? What the fuck? And he's going around telling people, Kim Jong-un's insane. He's a crazy kid with a lot of weapons and toys. And he's like, that's what you are. Why?
Basically, an older version, right?
But I like watching politics for the same reason I like watching sports. Except the stakes are so much higher.
Now, you've done something now, the comedy night that has gone on for like 1,000 years or something.
Oh, that's why I'm hungover right now. Yeah, I had Spirits last night. It's my show.
So where's that located in Toronto? Where is that?
That's on Hayden Street, right at just a block south of Church and Bloor. So, yeah, we've been running there. This is the 21st year we're in. Wow. I haven't been running it the whole time, don't.
But still, to have anything, even a pizza joint that's open for 21 years is kind of an accomplishment. So tell people if they haven't seen, what are you talking about with Spirits Comedy?
Oh, it started out as a traditional open mic 20 years ago. You could just show up and get on. It's not like that anymore. I have a long list of comics that come by, and a lot of them are professionals. So, you're going to see a really high-quality show, and it's free. Mixed in with some amateurs, new people, up and coming.
Now, who would people be surprised that actually show up to this thing? I mean, if they're walking in there expecting to see a lot of Russell Grahams going,
you don't want Russell Graham.
What if Jack Nicholson will work in the produce section at Sobeys? That kind of stuff.
They don't like you at all. Just right away. Yeah, you look like a sweet person.
That's a trick.
Like you're gonna see guys like Rob Pugh.
So Rob's gonna do it. Yeah.
Rob does it. Very often. He's one of my dear friends, also a Pittsburgh fan. So
yes, he is.
That is true. Yeah, he's been on the show. Yeah.
Guys like Ryan Belleville. I mean, we had Steve Patterson on a few weeks back. You know what blows my mind? He's one of the bigger celebrities. I've had David Koechner come in, who's fantastic. But no matter how big the person is when they come in, it doesn't mean you're not going to get heckled. Doesn't mean you're not going to.
So people will just try anybody. Like you're gonna hear some shit when you go to and that's why people said, oh, let's go to a comedy show. And I look at sometimes people who say that, and I know they're the kind of people who go, I don't know how human beings make this sound. No, you're fucking groaning. Don't go. Trust me. Don't hurt yourself. If you think I'm bad. I mean, you're gonna get 2.5 hours of. I mean, you just never really know what's going to get on that stage. You're going to be disturbed when you walk out of there.
Not all groans are bad. Like some of them, you can really if you get like and you can move it into a laugh. That's a kind of joke that people are going to remember for a long time, and probably repeat it and ruin it for other people completely. It's the groans like I can't believe it. I can't. It's like I'm just talking. What the fuck can you not believe about what's happening? I didn't take my opinion, put it in your head, now you have to live by it, you idiot. Yeah. Just don't laugh. Go about your fucking day.
Do you ever call back when somebody's saying stuff like that to you or heckling you or anything like that? You ever shoot back?
All the time.
Oh, really?
I've said horrible things to people.
That's awesome.
Awful
Because a lot of people shut up and don't say anything and pretend it's not there. That's hard to do, isn't it?
So do you go Bill Hicks on people? Because that's outstanding.
I don't use the same type of anger. I actually enjoy playing with people and going back and forth. And if I got a crowd, first thing I'll test if the crowd's on my side. So if it's a great show and I'm just getting heckled by one person and everyone's on my side, this is my arena now.
You're good.
I can do whatever the fuck. I've told old women I'd fuck the teeth out of their head. Like I've done crazy. And, most of the time they love it. They'll go along with it. And I do it only to shock and awe and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do that. So anyone who would see that and go,
you sure about
this
that?
is terrible. Well,
a lot of those people. Now, so we had Darren Frost on.
I love Frosty.
And so he came in, and it was obviously filled with a tremendous amount of anger. And he said, "Look at me. Why wouldn't it be anger? What did he say? I'm 45, 43, or what did he say he was? Yeah. He goes, and I look like Bobby Hill from King of the Hill. He goes, of course I have a lot of pain. And then Dave goes, you're 43? He goes, oh, fuck off.
Oh, yeah, man.
Sorry.
Frosty, despite his act, which is very dark and really bitter, he's one of the sweetest human beings I've met in the business. Like he's kind. He's to talk to him after a show. He's a wonderful person.
The common thread.
I don't trust clean comics. That's
nobody likes clean comics. Nobody. What Dave Hemstad came in. He said, I pretty much work clean. Then you're not. No one likes you then. I mean, the audience might like you, and people who like, I don't know, Red Skelton, they like you. But the comics, you can't trust a guy who doesn't, drop a couple of bombs.
I like it. Makes me comfortable when I see clean comedy. I respect what they do, and I know why they do it. There's a lot of money in it too. But I mean,
that's interesting that you say that because guys like Frosty will say things like, "Try working this blue in this country. You're not even making poverty wages." It's
we don't have the population. Difficult. That's a big part of doing stuff in the States is they have the population to support different kinds and genres of comedy. Comedy has a hard time getting around in Canada, mostly because of our land space and how the distance you have to travel between places.
What kind of audience differs from West Coast to East Coast? Is it a noticeable one when you're sitting there in the same spot every single night, but you're in Vancouver here, you're in Toronto here? Is there much of a difference?
No, I haven't. The internet's changed everything. Everybody's the same now. Yeah, I even go out to little country towns, and
that's got to be different. You got really even your country bumpkins that are seeing comedy for a first time.
See, I like this. I like the rural crowds because you can sometimes get away with stuff like as bad as you can be. You can be really bad.
Yeah, I mean, you can be filthy in the country.
Yeah, exactly.
You really can. But I mean, when you go out to the country, your best bet, stay away from religion.
Yes.
Unless you got a really good one.
Yeah.
But when I go out to the country, I try to make sure I do all my pro-gay stuff, just because I feel like it's my duty. Like I have to do it. I have to make it. If you're uncomfortable with it, it's your fault, idiots. Like Taiwan just legalized same-sex marriage, which I thought isn't that the land of crazy sex?
Well,
my whole life I thought
is the land of picking sex based on someone wearing a number. Isn't that you'd think they would be like first in line for whatever it is.
But it's divided the country, and it's like why are people so obsessed with where genitals go? I care about mine and what touches mine. That's it.
I don't give a shit about anybody else. It's like, did you hear about this person? I don't care. Honestly, whatever it is.
Humans to me are just jellyfish. It's a brain, and this body just kind of hangs off it.
You've just described Russell and his and what he's attracted to, because there's a lot of things that go on in his room that his mother isn't really pleased about. But he would, it's funny. He had a bachelor party, and I said, "Oh, where's this going?" He goes, "No, I went to a comedy club and saw Darren Frost." Wasn't that the comic that you went and saw? Yeah.
I'm glad you went and saw Frosty.
Yeah.
Usually when I get wedding parties in the club, I'm like, what a.
But that's not what I would do. I mean, you think about, for us, a bachelor party is not
a little different.
Not really close to that.
I went to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a little different. But what is the strangest venue? Because I know there's some nights where, I've had to get up there and do stuff, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm here. I really can't believe that I'm going to even attempt this.
The strangest venues? The venues I don't like the most are college and university.
Why is that? That's the younger crowd?
Yeah, but we're in an age where younger doesn't mean cooler anymore. I find younger to be way more PC. They won't tolerate.
That's true. It's very volatile now. Where you could have gone up before and be filthy. Now you got people probably shouting and with how people with this, what do they call them, social justice warriors.
Yeah.
You may be getting into a little bit of a firestorm when you go up there.
Yeah, and it's I don't understand how when did comedians become this political power that have to be shut down? When there's actual people in politics who are so screwed up and no one's doing anything about it.
I agree 100%. It's more, to me, it's like, where we're supposed to be moving forward, where things are more open. We're becoming more closed. The censorship, to me, because of those sort of issues,
right?
If you don't agree with what they're saying, you're Hitler. You're all these other things that they see you not agreeing with the party.
Hitler ruined arguments more than anything.
Yeah, well.
Okay, so you talked about your tour.
Okay.
I wanted to get to your album. You mentioned an album. Tell me more about that, where we can get it, and what the hell is it about?
iTunes, Spotify. I think somebody just dropped a Dropbox link to it somewhere.
Yeah. Now, how does that work for comics? So in the day, it's like, well, you can go to Tower Records and pick up my latest CD. Now that's not really a thing, unless I guess you're going to the gig. Maybe you're giving CDs. So where are you making your money? How do you get your dough from a Spotify or an iTunes? How's that work for you?
I don't know. You got to ask Danny.
Yeah,
Danny
knows.
I got a great couple of people working with me, Danny and Kim, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, Danny drove in a Ferrari today, so you might want to ask him how you're making your goddamn money.
One-tooth Danny on a Ferrari. Hey.
Yeah. Hey, he's big friends with Donald Sutherland now.
If he got a Ferrari before he fixed his tooth, I'd be furious. Like, if you're going to steal my money, at least fix your face. What the fuck?
So if we're taking a look at just so people are going, well, what kind of album would this be? can you even give us a little clue on people that want to see Callous? What is that album going to be?
The album, it starts off, I'm a fan of old comics like Harland and, you know.
One of the greats.
I want to say Cosby, but you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, but in the day,
the album was great.
Not to say you weren't influenced by, you know, Why Is There Air and some of those early albums that he had. They were genius. They were genius albums.
So I start essentially a little bit political, get into the personal, and then it ends with dirty, dirty sex.
As every night really
should. It pretty much follows a drinking night.
I was going to say.
The first beer, what's wrong with the world? The second beer, I'm so alone. I feel so bad. And then you get deep. You're like, I just need to fuck something.
Yeah, exactly. Before we go, we do want to talk maybe a final score. I mean, if we're
yeah, what are we talking betting wise? How many goals are being scored? Yeah. I'm guessing you're picking the team.
You're gonna say
I'm gonna say 4-3 Pittsburgh.
Holy shit!
7 goals, really, eh?
That's
we're anticipating a lower than 5 goal.
The total's 5. We're saying we're going to take the under.
We're taking the under.
I guess I got the over.
Yeah, you got the over.
I'm not much of a bettor, but
we can help.
I've also been wrong though. I thought Kessel was going to take this series. I thought he was going to be. Because I didn't think Ottawa would be deep enough. They'd be busy with Malkin and Crosby.
I didn't even think Ottawa would be in the conference finals. I thought the Rangers would beat them. I thought maybe the Boston Bruins would have beat them.
And Bernie's right. There's got to be a committee. Because that should have been a goal. I was furious.
Yeah.
Furious. And Edmonton should be just losing their minds.
Edmonton, out of all the teams out there, are the most pissed.
Was that the Cal Post furious look?
Yeah. Is that about as angry as I
was going to say that.
Stay away. Stay away.
The album is called Callous. Cal Post joining us. And by the way, if you want to see comedy for the next 21 years, Spirit Comedy, just at church in south of Bloor on Hayden.
I'm a Canadian performer. I'm not going anywhere.
There you go. He's just looking for warmth, ladies and gentlemen. He just wants to stay warm. Cal, thanks so much for coming in today.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
What? Did we just become best friends? Yep.